The quantum encryption on Jennifer's neural implant flickered red at 16:47 hours, 3 minutes after advanced propulsion theory let out. She sat alone in the observation deck of the Orbital Defense Academy, Earth's pale blue curve filling the reinforced viewport when the alert pierced through her auditory cortex. Unauthorized access attempt detected. Military-grade intrusion. Her fingers moved instinctively to the haptic interface embedded in her forearm, pulling up security protocols she'd memorized during her first week at the academy. The data stream made her blood freeze. Someone was actively scrubbing her records from the central database, not just her grades or disciplinary files, but her entire existence. Biometric scans, DNA registry, entrance exam scores, everything. Jennifer Torres, Cadet ID 7742 Earth Prime, she whispered to herself, as if speaking her name aloud could anchor her to reality. Born in the Guadalajara Arcology, recruited at 16 for her exceptional spatial reasoning scores, 3 years of brutal training, top 15% of her class, and now, according to the Academy's quantum servers, she had never existed at all. The observation deck's pressure door hissed open. Jennifer's hand moved to the plasma cutter she kept strapped to her calf, a violation of Academy regulations, but her survival instincts had always been sharper than her rule-following. 4 figures entered, their movements too synchronized, too mechanical. Enhanced soldiers. Their optical implants glowed faintly in the dim lighting, targeting algorithms visible through their artificial corneas. "Cadet Torres," the lead soldier said, his voice modulated by a vocoder. "You are to come with us. Colonial security matter." Jennifer's neural implant was already running probability matrices. Colonial security didn't send kill squads for administrative issues. They didn't scrub records first and ask questions later. This was an elimination protocol. "On whose authority?" she asked, buying time while her implant interfaced with the station's environmental systems. 3 years of hacking practice in the Academy's simulation labs hadn't been wasted. "Classified. You have 10 seconds to comply." 7 seconds later, Jennifer triggered an emergency decompression alert in Section C7, 3 levels down. The station's klaxons erupted and the soldiers' attention split for a microsecond. Military conditioning made them react to threat warnings, even obvious false ones. She moved. The plasma cutter burned through the nearest soldier's neck seal before his enhanced reflexes could compensate. Vacuum-rated armor was impressive, but the seal points were always vulnerable. He collapsed, his suit's emergency systems hissing as they tried to maintain pressure around the breach. Jennifer was already running, her academy training kicking in. She knew this station better than these soldiers ever would. Every maintenance shaft, every backup corridor, every blind spot in the surveillance grid. Her neural implant buzzed. An incoming message, tight beam laser communication, untraceable. Dock 7, Bay 3, Corvette prepped, Alex Martinez, her lab partner in quantum mechanics, the quiet belter boy who never quite fit in with the Earthborn cadets. They'd spent countless hours together, building theoretical warp field generators and arguing about the nature of faster-than-light travel. She'd always suspected he was more than he appeared. His knowledge of ship systems was too practical, too specific. "How did you know?" she transmitted back, ducking into a maintenance shaft as pulse rifle fire scorched the bulkhead behind her. "Been watching. They came for me 2 months ago. I escaped. Been monitoring their operations since. You're the 7th cadet they've targeted." The others didn't make it. Jennifer's stomach twisted. 7 cadets. All disappeared without a trace. She ran the pattern analysis through her implant as she crawled through the narrow maintenance tunnel. All Earthborn, all top performers, all specialists in theoretical physics or advanced propulsion systems. Someone was eliminating the brightest minds in the academy, specifically anyone who might understand what she'd discovered 3 weeks ago during her thesis research. The equations had been elegant, almost beautiful. a method for generating stable wormholes using quantum-entangled exotic matter, bypassing the need for impossible amounts of energy. She'd submitted her preliminary findings to her advisor, Dr. Chen, and he'd gone pale. "Delete this," he'd told her. "Forget you ever calculated these numbers." She hadn't, of course. She'd encrypted the data and stored it in her neural implant, protected by military-grade firewalls. Apparently, that hadn't been enough. Jennifer emerged from the maintenance shaft 2 levels above Dock 7. The corridors were empty. The decompression alert had drawn security away from this sector. She sprinted toward Bay 3, her enhanced muscles burning with lactic acid. The Corvette was a beauty, a stealth-class reconnaissance ship, its hull coated in radar-absorbent polymers. Alex stood at the airlock, his face grim. "They're coming," he said. "We have maybe 90 seconds." "Who's they?" Jennifer demanded, even as she ran up the boarding ramp. "Not Colonial Security. They're just the tool." Alex's fingers danced over the flight controls, initiating launch sequences that should have required 3 crew members. "Someone high up doesn't want humanity achieving practical FTL travel. Your research, my propulsion modifications, we're too close to the breakthrough." The Corvette's engines thrummed to life, antimatter reactions contained in magnetic bottles generating thrust. Through the viewport, Jennifer saw the soldiers burst into the dock, weapons raised. Too late. The Corvette punched through the station's magnetic shield and into open space, acceleration pushing Jennifer back into her seat. Behind them, the Orbital Defense Academy, humanity's premier military training facility, grew smaller. Alex pulled up a holographic display. "I've got the data from all 7 targeted cadets. Combined with your wormhole equations and my engine modifications, we actually have enough to make it work." Jennifer stared at Earth, shrinking in the distance. She'd been erased from existence, hunted by her own government, forced to flee everything she'd known. But the equations still existed, locked in her mind, encoded in her neural implant. "So what now?" she asked. Alex's smile was sharp. "Now we find out who's trying to keep humanity locked in this solar system, and then we build the warp drive anyway." The Corvette's navigation system plotted a course toward the asteroid belt, toward the independent settlements where questions weren't asked, and Earth's authority meant nothing. Jennifer Torres, who no longer officially existed, allowed herself a grim smile. They'd tried to erase her to bury the truth. Instead, they'd just set it free. End.